Hello, students. We're back for a lesson on number for ACT prep. This time we're going to be looking at distance and midpoint. And you probably learned this in your geometry class or even in a middle school class. I think it might be covered a little bit in Algebra 1. All right, here we go. For this lesson, you're also going to have to memorize some formulas. You'll have to memorize the midpoint formula and distance formula. And so the first question here I'm going to talk about is midpoint. And midpoint means the middle point in between two different points. And typically those points can be graphed, but we usually don't graph them. I'm just going to give you this visual for this first example, and then we're going to go away from graphing. Okay, so let's go ahead and plot the two coordinates. So 1, -6, so 1, -6. I'm going to go ahead and draw the point there, and I'll go ahead and label it 1, -6. And then the other one is 1, -3. So 1, -3. There's the coordinate. And basically, the midpoint is going to be immediately in the middle of these two ordered pairs, okay? So it's going to be equidistant from the midpoint to this point, equidistant from the midpoint to this point. And it looks like the midpoint is going to still be 1. Let me use another color. The midpoint is still going to be 1 on the x, comma, and then looks like it's going to be about -4.5, okay? But we're going to go ahead and calculate it just to make sure. On the ACT, if you see that one of the x or the y coordinate is the same, then you're going to want to just maybe quickly jump to the answer. It's going to be halfway in between these two, the two y values. But if you don't recognize it, then just bam, hit that formula. All right, so here we go. So x2 plus x1. So 1 plus 1 over 2, okay? And the midpoint formula is an ordered pair, so you should have a parenthesis and a comma. And then it says y2 plus y1. So y2 is -3 plus -6, always over 2, okay? And so this is going to be 1 plus 1 is 2. -3 plus -6 is -9 over 2. This right here reduces to 1. And if you want to leave this as -9/2, you can. The answer choices on the ACT will probably have this question as a decimal. And if you're unsure of what that decimal is, there's no need to guess when you have a calculator. So you'll just say -9 divided by 2, and the calculator will give you -4.5. My calculator is a little hard to see the negative, but it's there. All right. If you're having issues with this problem, please pause the video and talk to your math teacher. Otherwise, I'm going to go on and do some some problems without the graph. I'm noticing I have a typo there, so it's just 1ER. Okay, anyway. Find the midpoint of the segment with the following ends. So I'm telling you these are the two endpoints. You need to find the middle point. We're going to go right to that formula that's right there, the midpoint formula. And here we go. So parenthesis x2 plus x1 over 2. And then y2. And the order really doesn't matter here. So long as these are both the y values and those are both the x values, okay? Now I'm going to add them. So -1 plus -9 is -10 over 2. And -9 plus -5 is -14 over 2. And then these fractions reduce to negative. And if you don't see it, go to your calculator. So that's the midpoint. Easy peasy? Good, glad to hear it. All right, let's do this last one for midpoint. The midpoint of the line AB, there should be a little line up there, is M1, 6. This is the midpoint, okay? This is the midpoint. If the coordinates of A are this, what are the coordinates of B? Ooh, this is looking a little saucy here. Okay, let's give it a try. So I don't know x2, but I know x1 is 8, and that's always